we are inviting tourists, people in Europe who are accustomed to May Day, to come and be a part of this. We want the immigrant community. We want Teamsters. We want laborers. We want the RSDWU. We want the United Food and Commercial Workers. This is a day that should be represented by hundreds of thousands marching like they did in 1886. We have to turn back the clock on Mr. Romney, on Mr. Obama, on the Congress, on Mario Cuomo, on Bloomberg, and the 99% has to get their share, and tomorrow the march starts. I mean, on Tuesday, the march starts.
Unlike other years, there will only be one May Day demonstration at Union Square this year. That's the first great historic step forward.
Unity!
Right, and it couldn't come at a better time. And the other second great news is that labor and immigrants and students and people in general are marching together with the Occupy Wall Street movement. The Occupy Wall Street movement has really made a decision to orient to immigrants and to workers on May Day. And this really is very scary for the 1%. And so we're very, very happy to welcome OWS into our midst. And especially speaking for old people, we say thank you.
Even though we have the pop-up occupation happening from 8 to 2 p.m., that's an Occupy Wall Street action that is not permanent, that has not been given permission by City Hall and the NYPD, but that's how Occupy rolls, right? We're here to let all peoples from all backgrounds know that on Tuesday we do have permanent actions, right? Right here, Union Square, the May 1st Coalition, we have the rally starting at noon. It will be permanent all throughout the day. We have 4 more days to get the word out and to make everybody feel safe, especially reaching out to those folks, community groups that have already said, hey, listen, I don't want to get mixed up with any legal issues, you know, so let's take care of those people. Let's be inclusive. Si se puede.
Labor movement from all sectors, public sector, private sector, building and construction trades, and immigrant workers will proudly stand united this May Day with a unified solidarity message. We'll be marching peacefully, we'll be assembling. There will be a celebratory nature to May Day, which is a historical International Workers' Day, and as such, it will so very much be celebrated appropriately right here in our city, in New York City, and we welcome all of the members of the press to be there to cover this historic event. Thank you.
All right.
And from the New York Immigration Coalition, we represent almost 200 organizations that work with immigrants across New York State, and we're here to say that it's time for New York to support undocumented youth to be able to go to college, to pass DREAM legislation. We're here to say that it's time that we support workers' rights, that it's time for us to come together in the historic unified march on May 1st. Si se puede, nos vemos el martes.
May Day where?
Union Square!
May Day where?
Union Square!
We march until we have justice that rolls down, that everyone, not just the 1%, but the 99% who we speak for has justice.
All right.
We are here to stand with the immigrants and workers to march on May Day. Many still remain undocumented, 11.5 million according to the estimates of the Department of Homeland Security as of March 23, and are subject to criminalization and deportation. And yet they pay more taxes than many top US companies, the 1%, and they do the hardest jobs. It is also not their fault that they came to the US and become undocumented. There are no jobs in their home countries, so they are forced to leave. And when they get to the US, they get exploited by the 1% through unfair labor practices like wage theft, terrible labor conditions, trafficking, layoffs, and many others, or get detained and deported, which is also becoming a business for the US government after their labor or services have been used and abused, all for the sake of profit and corporate greed. We call for all immigrants and workers to come together on May 1, International Workers' Day, to speak out and fight for their rights and for the other sectors who rely on their forces to support and join the May Day rally. Thank you very much.
Right, how you all doing?
All right.
I know the rain is falling, but this is a message we're sending out there to the 1%. It's not stopping us now.
That's
No
right.
matter how the weather is, we have to organize and show that 1% that we, the 99%, is much stronger. So my honest is to call out all the folks, the domestic workers out. Drop your tools, come out and support this great day, because we have to show them that we are an important workforce. We are the real workers. We are the excluded workers, contribute greatly to this economy. Yes, so we are treated less than human beings.
Desde que empezó la crisis en el 2007-2008, fuimos los primeros en ser expulsados a la calle. Esas son las razones por qué los jornaleros unidos somos parte del movimiento de Ocupa Wall Street, porque nos sentimos parte del 99%. Los invito a que compañeros trabajadores no tengan miedo y salgan el 1 de mayo aquí a manifestarse, porque si no, eso va a continuar. No vamos a poder cambiar el sistema. Gracias.
El problema más frecuente de estas comunidades es la falta de pago por su trabajo. Los patrones no están pagando por el día, por la semana, por el mes. We're coming out on May 1st to say no more to wage theft, no more to bad treatment from employers and bosses, and yes to dignity, yes to justice, and yes to immigrant and workers' rights.
Ahora mismo tenemos una campaña que es CRUSTY, un restaurante, y aquí tenemos uno de nuestros trabajadores y hemos tenido grandes victorias dentro del lugar de trabajo, pero todavía estamos en la lucha.
Y una noticia más que estamos luchando para que próximamente nos aprueben una unión de trabajadores en nuestro lugar de trabajo. Esperemos que para el 23 de mayo demos la noticia que habrá otra unión más, se llamará CRUSTY Workers Association.
This is the new face of labor right here.
All right.
Thank you, gracias.
Tenemos que seguir luchando para que las familias no sean separadas.
We have to keep fighting so that families will not be divided.
Y no vamos a parar hasta que logremos una legalización para todos nuestros hermanos y hermanas.
And we're not going to stop fighting until we win legalization for our brothers and sisters. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we need to pass the New York Dream Act now. We need to pass the Federal Dream Act, and we need an immigration reform. So on Tuesday, I invite all communities from everywhere, upstate, New York City, and especially Long Island. I'm calling on Long Island because we need the support from Long Island residents to pass the New York Dream Act. Thank you.
All right.
Hi everybody, my name is OSAMA KHATLAN. I am from Street Vendor Project that has historical struggle against occupation by the police and big business. We have historical been and will always with the 1990%. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
We know the power of the 1% with their police and their army and their congressmen and legislators, but they can't stop this 99%. And Occupy Wall Street has lit a big fire in this thing, and with labor and all of these community groups, we are going to push back.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
We'll show them on Tuesday.
Yeah.